I'm Nick Altmeyer with linkinglewiscounty.com, here today with Lewis County Manager Ryan Piche. So today we have something a little different in store for you. So Ryan and I are going to be touring the different sites in the county that the county owns that have had some capital improvement projects this year. So it's been a busy summer at the county. You've had projects going on at a lot of locations. So in total, the projects equal about...
So we're talking about $20 million of capital improvements really to the county's physical plant assets. So the buildings and grounds that the county owns are in need of a little bit of love. And so over the last year, we've been putting some money into the facilities, and the projects, some of them are about halfway done. And so you'll get to see some of the progress today, and we'll talk about kind of where we're headed and what it'll look like when it's complete.
Okay, so we're talking about like the DSS building on Stowe Street.
Yep.
We have the DMV building over on River Street.
Yep.
We have the solid waste facility out on Route 26, and we have the highway garage also has had some work.
Yep.
So
on East Road. Yep.
On the East Road. Okay, so we're gonna hit the road and we're gonna stop at each site and kind of give you a little bullet point of what the progress is on each place, and just kind of show you what's going on and where our investments are being made.
Absolutely.
All right, let's hit the road.
Sounds good.
Okay, so our first stop here is at the Lewis County, what do we call it? The solid waste facility? Okay, so we have had some improvements going on here, so why don't you tell us a little bit about what's going on over here?
So this building will look familiar to most folks that have used the solid waste facility. This building used to be used for both commercial and residential. So you could have an individual person dropping off, a bag of garbage at the same time a commercial loader backing in with a whole truckload. And that wasn't really the most safe situation, and it also wasn't very efficient. So what we did is we've got this addition here in the back. This is a $1.2 million project where now you have all commercial is going to run through this facility here. And then all residential will use the existing. So we've separated commercial and residential to create a much more safer, more efficient environment for solid waste disposal.
And when this project is complete, what are some of the other things that people will notice over here at Solid Waste Facility?
So you can notice in the background here, we've got the scale house project that's under construction. We really needed to invest in a place where people could come in to pay their bill. They had to go up a series of metal steps before. Also, the facilities for our employees, the break room and whatnot, was really subpar and needed investment. So this will be an office for the solid waste department, as well as a place for people to come in and pay their bill. And if you're a commercial hauler, you can stop there and you'll get your scale ticket right there at the scale house. So that'll be complete in the next couple months.
Okay, so that was my last question, was the timeline on completion of the project over here. Yep. Would be in a couple months?
Yep, so this part's already done over here. This will be done in a couple months. This project was $1.2 million, and this project was $485,000. So altogether, about $1.6 million worth of investment in our facilities here at Solid Waste.
All right, so that fills us in on what's going over here at the solid waste facility. So off to our next stop. All right, so now we're here at the highway garage over on the East Road. So behind you, why don't you tell us what's going on over here?
Sure. So directly behind me, this is going to be the new highway garage. Okay, so you can see that we'll have a new entrance coming off of 812 into here. Brand new highway garage, right across the road from our old highway garage. Panning over here, we've got what will be the cold storage building. So you can see that the foundation slab's already been poured. And then behind that is a wash bay. So trucks will be able to, in the winter, come in, get the salt washed off them. In the summer, the mud and everything else. It'll help us maintain our equipment, longer, and help things to last a little bit longer and take better care of them if we can clean them off properly after every day. So we've got the wash bay, the cold storage, and the new highway garage. That's on this side of the street, and then across the street to where our old building is. That building, the red building, is going to be renovated, and it'll be the new home of Recreation, Forestry, and Parks, as well as the Soil and Water Department for Lewis County. So utilizing some of our old buildings the best we can, and taking advantage of some new buildings as well.
And the fueling station will still be over here at the
The fueling station remains here. Absolutely. The local schools, the state DOT, and emergency services around the county all come here to fuel up, along with obviously the highway operation.
All right. And I think you said that this project is kind of bundled in together with the DSS building. It was all bid out as one project.
Correct. Yep. So everything going on here on the East Road campus, combined with everything that's happening up on Stowe Street, which we're going to go take a look at in a bit, it was all under one contract, one bid for about $16.5 million.
Okay, and I think that you wanted to, we didn't mention it over at Solid Waste, but the contractor on that project was?
Yep, so at Solid Waste we had two great contractors that we've been working with. CNS Technical got the bid for the $1.2 million, and Continental Construction out of Governor is doing a great job on the Scale House project as well. On this campus and up at Stowe Street, we've got Betty and Kring is the general contractor, along with some local folks that have gotten the mechanical and electrical contracts as well.
Okay, so we're at various stages over here. Obviously we have the cold storage build, or the wash bay is pretty much up. We've got the foundation on the cold storage, and we've got the work just beginning over here on the new highway garage. So what's the timeline for completion on this project?
So our hope is that these guys will be moved in by fall of next year to their new campus, and then the soil and water and recreation, forestry, and parks will be moved in by the end of 2023 into their building, which will be the renovated highway garage.
Okay, so renovations over there will probably start after this site is completed.
Move everybody out into the new before we can start renovating the old, and so hopefully by December of 2023. Everybody will be in their new homes.
Okay, perfect. All right, next up we have the Department of Motor Vehicles building over here on River Street in Lowville. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what's going over here at this very active site at the moment?
Well, people are working, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
So we've got an addition that's going to go on the Department of Motor Vehicles building here. It'll also be the new home for Board of Elections. So we'll have a motor voter one-stop shop for folks here in Lewis County. And then we've also got a parking lot expansion going on, as you can see in the back. More parking, more pull-through ability for tractor trailers and trucks with trailers and boats and whatever else people need to get registered at the DMV. So plenty of room for vehicles to pull through and park, and we'll have a new building and a new home for Board of Elections as well.
Okay, and this is a property that started out the county was leasing, but took ownership of over the summer. So this is now in the county's inventory of properties.
Yep, so the county purchased this property for about $300,000 earlier this year, and then this project, the addition and the parking lot expansion, will be another $2.3 million.
Okay, and do you want to mention who the contractor on this project is?
Yeah, the main contractor working with us here is Powis, right here, Lewis County Company. They've been great to work with so far, and so they're doing some good work for us.
All right. All right, so now we're over here at the Department of Social Services building on Stowe Street.
Yep.
So as we can see, everything is gutted out over here. So let's tell people what's going on in this building.
Sure. So this will be Lewis County's new Human Services building. It'll be the home of Office for the Aging, the Department of Social Services, as well as Community Services. This is the same footprint that we were on before in Stowe Street, but it was stripped totally down to the studs. So what you're seeing now is all new exterior walls, new masonry on the outside, and as you can see today, we're working on some of the interior walls, getting those studded up and in place, and you can see some of the plumbing is going in as well. Totally new HVAC, plumbing, electric, basically everything in this building is new except for the metal frame and the concrete floor.
All right, and what's the timeline on the project over here?
So this project should be done, we're hoping, by mid-April of 2023. So spring completion date for the Stowe Street campus for the Human Services.
Okay, and currently we have the agency's house here at the former Glenfield Elementary School.
Yep, so there's going to be about 100 employees here, but those employees right now are down in Glenfield at the old elementary school.
Okay, and I think we mentioned before, but this project is bundled in with the project for the highway garage, so same contractor.
Yep, same contract as the highway campus that we looked at before. Again, about $16.5 million for this project and the highway campus, as well as the maintenance building that's being built out back here on Stowe Street. And again, Betty & Kring is the general contractor for this project.
All right, and finally here at the DSS campus on Stowe Street, one of the last projects that we're going to look at is the maintenance garage, I think you called it?
Yep.
Going up behind you. So tell us a little bit about what that's for.
Very simple, just a maintenance facility. Really, our buildings and grounds crew have never had a outdoor garage where they can work on equipment, store mowers. It's just basically been the basement of the courthouse. So that's what that facility, the small garage there will be used for. And then while we're here up on Stowe Street, it's not anything that you'll be able to see, but we are putting about $1 million in the public safety building for completely replacing the HVAC system and the flooring throughout the inmate area in that building as well.
Okay, so and that's a project that'll be going on over the winter?
That'll be going on over the winter, yep. It's been going on, but the vast majority of it will be happening over the next month or so. Okay,
so that pretty much concludes our tour of the county facilities that we're getting some capital work done this summer. Obviously continuing into next year as well. So as we close out here today, was there anything else that you wanted to mention about any of the projects?
No, we've been really blessed to work with some great local businesses, local contractors. Everyone that has worked on these projects has brought a great spirit to the table. Everyone's working hard. So far, we're on budget. We're on budget and we're on time in terms of delivering all these projects. And it's a tough environment right now for getting materials. But we've had great partners with our local contractors, and we're hopeful that we'll be able to deliver an on-time and on-budget project over the course of 2023.
And with all of these facilities kind of getting upgraded at the same time, what's kind of the shelf life on some of these projects, as far as like probably some of these buildings won't need something like that for another 20-30 years?
Well, that's the goal. We really let some of our facilities go for quite some time without investment. The highway garage was built in 1909. Okay.
Oh, wow.
So that's how long we've been operating out of that one facility. This, Stowe Street building was built in 1986 and really should have only lasted, 25 years. So Lewis County has a long history of getting their money's worth out of, the facilities that they invest in. So I'm fairly certain with the folks that we have in our buildings and ground crew and the values of our legislators and elected officials that we'll get the most out of these facilities for many, many years to come.
Okay, and not to put you too much on the spot with so many projects going on right now, but kind of looking into the future a little bit. I know you guys work with a 5-year capital plan. Is there any other big upgrades coming in the future that any of the facilities might need?
Not really. Once we are done with these variety of these projects, we should be really caught up to speed where we need to be. We'll be resurfacing and completely rebuilding the parking lot at the public safety building next year. It's about $1 million project. We also need to do some HVAC upgrades at the courthouse. That building's very old, and an elevator upgrade. So, there's always things, but I think if we, have a 5-year capital plan and stick to it and stay ahead of some of these things, these buildings will last us a really long time.
All right. Well, we appreciate your time today, and it was really enjoyable to go out and see some of these sites firsthand. So hopefully the people enjoy seeing what's going on as well. So thank you for your time today, Ryan. Yep.